done a little repetition with the bridge signal, and I know that he knows what it is. I'm going to start by introducing the target. Now, this is a little fast for him because we're kind of moving on to demonstrate the purpose here. We're visiting with Zeus. So what I did, again, I changed my orientation. So as he is learning to keep his head away, I want it to be, I don't want him to try keeping his head away and me asking for something else. So I shift my orientation, and now I'm presenting a new thing, which becomes a cue for targeting. Put your little head up here. There you go. And he's not, clearly, he was touching the target when it was on my back, so he's not really afraid of the target, but you could see that movement just there. He's good. He kind of turned his head away from it. He pulled just a little bit back and then turned his head away, which made me think it was a little bit of avoidance behavior. He wasn't sure what to do with it. So I'm going to ask him to come up here and target. What do you think, little man? I'll put it down for a second. I don't want to desensitize the cue, so I put it down and target and represent it. Good. Now, what I think is funny, when it was on my belt, he was all over it. He was pushing it, he was nuzzling it, but it being held in my hand is a little bit of a different story. So I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. Target. Good. So as soon as I felt his nose touch the target, I drew attention to that. So it could be that it was the stick element that made it feel a little bit worried. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer. Hey Zeus, can you target? Good, that was really good. And what I liked is the commitment of him even walking his feet to get there. That's actually really, really good. So I'm gonna see if I can make it a little bit longer. And what I feel like is he is target. He is markedly slower with the target than he was with the bridge conditioning. And I think it's because there's some apprehension. That's it, you had it. Come up here. There's some apprehension related to this thing in my hand. And again, I try to make it where my hand is not as easy to reach as the target end of the stick, but he can find it. And again, I think he's thinking, I want to do the food, I want to do your hand, I want to do your body, but that thing, good, in your hand might be more uncomfortable. So what I can also do is I can go a little bit lower with it. Can I go down here? Good. And a lot of times it's a little bit lower, it doesn't feel quite as familiar as maybe, or worrisome as maybe having something in my hand that's up higher. Okay, target. Can you come up there? Hello. Hey Zeus, can you target? I know, it's a little hard, huh? Make it shorter. Target. You almost had it. You almost had it. Can you target? Good. And so there, we're going to leave it there for now. So you can see it was having it shorter made a bigger difference for him. So he got just a little bit bolder and a little more going to it, you know, and going to touch it a little quicker. And I think this is really important. And what I think is so important about that is recognizing that fear doesn't always look like big, giant reactivity. In that situation, it was more avoidance, and I would rather not touch it when it looks a little bit longer. And it seemed to me that it was more apprehension related to it. So every time it got shorter, he was a little bit quicker to go touch the target. So sometimes that's what fear looks like. It's not the biggest, giantest thing ever. It can be smaller things, and it can be avoidance. It can be walking away. It can be subtle stuff. So when we're working with them at Liberty, we need to recognize those things and think, okay, is that or is it not? So as I did it shorter and longer, it kind of started to answer that question a little bit for me, that having it shorter is the way I could set them up for success. So great job, Zeus. That was perfect.